Hi guys, thanks for joining us again on the channel. So, there's a reason I haven't talked about this one until now. It's not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I needed to get it right. And now, the wait's over. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer has had an incredibly frustrating and frankly dangerous experience with this electric bicycle over the course of their ownership. From the very beginning, our reviewer faced issues, as the product arrived damaged and required additional parts just to be assembled correctly. This was only the start of a long series of malfunctions. The electronic controller, for instance, has failed multiple times, leading to a frustrating back and forth for replacements. At one point, a new controller was sent that didn't even fit into its designated housing, highlighting a severe lack of quality control. The situation escalated when our reviewer was instructed by customer service to perform a voltage test on the battery to prove it was faulty. During this forced diagnostic, the battery sparked, not only breaking the client's testing equipment, but also damaging the battery itself, necessitating yet another replacement part. The most alarming event, however, was a catastrophic failure where all of the electronics caught fire. The components melted, with some parts even welding themselves together from the intense heat. This incident posed a significant fire hazard, nearly causing a disaster in our reviewer's home. Throughout this entire ordeal, the company has reportedly insisted that this client, who is not a mechanic or an electrician, pieced the electric bike back together themselves. Despite nearly every major component having been replaced, the product remains a complete lemon, now unusable once again. The company is now refusing to provide further support or replace the faulty unit, even though it is still under warranty. The overall sentiment is one of extreme caution, citing a company that seems to have little regard for product safety or customer support.
Cool, let's uncover what our next reviewer has to say.
This reviewer was initially a bit wary about purchasing this electric bike, seeing as it was a brand new listing with no feedback to go on. Despite the uncertainty, our reviewer decided to take a leap of faith, a decision they are now incredibly glad they made. Upon arrival, there was some minor damage to the front wheel, which seemed to have occurred during transit. This could have been a major headache, but our client's experience with the seller's customer service was anything but. They reported that communication was prompt, clear, and reassuring. The company suggested taking the electric bike to a local shop for a professional fix and promised to cover the full cost of the repairs. For this client, that level of support went far beyond their expectations and immediately put their mind at ease about the purchase. When it came to putting the bicycle together, the written instructions were admittedly a little confusing and could use some improvement. However, our reviewer found the process to be fairly intuitive and didn't run into any significant trouble getting it assembled and ready to ride. After spending several weeks with this electric bicycle, the experience has been an absolute pleasure. Our reviewer was surprised by just how much they would come to love it. The throttle feature has proven to be incredibly useful for navigating busy downtown traffic, providing a quick burst of power when needed. For more leisurely rides, the different levels of pedal assist are perfect for just cruising around and enjoying the scenery. Hills that were once a challenge are now completely effortless, making it feel like they could ride on this thing all day without getting tired. It has truly transformed their commuting and recreational riding. All things considered, this client believes it would be difficult to find a better electric bike that offers this much quality and enjoyment for the value. They've been left with a very positive impression of both the product and the seller, and they would not hesitate to recommend either one to someone looking for a reliable and fun way to get around.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer recently added a new electric bike to their household, making it the second one in the family. Their prior experience with another e-bike had set a high bar, particularly regarding how straightforward assembly was. This new electric bike, a step-through model, was specifically chosen for its suitability for our reviewer's wife, and initially it presented itself as a well-made item with appealing controls and sturdy construction. However, our reviewer quickly discovered that the assembly process for this particular e-bike was a stark contrast to their previous experience. Unlike the other model, which was a breeze to put together, this electric bike proved to be quite a chore. A significant hurdle was the rear fender, which arrived uninstalled. Installing it wasn't a simple task. It actually required the complete removal of the rear wheel, adding considerable time and effort to the setup. Furthermore, following the provided manual led to some backtracking. Our reviewer diligently installed the front fender, only to later realize they had to unbolt it again to attach the front rack. It felt like a series of small, frustrating steps that could have easily been avoided with clearer instructions or pre-assembly. To compound matters, both the front and rear brakes arrived out of alignment, necessitating further adjustment, a step that wasn't required on their previous e-bike. These weren't isolated incidents, but rather a collection of minor issues that collectively transformed assembly into a test of patience. Despite the initial frustration, our reviewer is pleased to report that once this electric bike was fully assembled and properly adjusted, it revealed its true quality. In fact, our reviewer finds they actually prefer the controls on this model compared to their other e-bike, highlighting a clear positive once past the setup phase. So, while our reviewer would certainly recommend this electric bike for its quality and performance, they also strongly.
That's it for this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.